It's Week 9 of the National Football League, and we've got a duel in the Lone Star State. It's the reigning Super Bowl champs and the Texans coming up next.
On a wonderful fall afternoon in the state of Texas, the roof is open, and we've got football from NRG Stadium in Houston. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room, and we're just about ready for football as the Texans get set to match up with the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
We are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Texans taking over offensively, and it is, of course, Deshaun Watson who leads them out at quarterback.
And it'll be interesting to see pretty early in this one exactly where his head is, because the best quarterbacks shake off performances like he had last week. Way too many interceptions. Didn't throw a touchdown pass. Team lost the game. Let's see if he can bounce back and get things going in the right direction.
He'll be trying to forget those 3 picks, as you noted. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
On 2nd and 10, Watson. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Grover Stewart breaking through to get him to the ground. It's a loss of 7.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. Here's Watson. Under pressure, they got him again. DeForest Buckner able to record his 5th sack of the season.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Here's Logan Cook now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they'll be led out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
After seeing what he did last week, throwing 4 touchdown passes, I had to go to my thesaurus to try and come up with some great words for what he did. I'm still coming up blank. He was scintillating.
I'm going simple. I don't have your thesaurus. I'm going dynamite. He was dynamite.
I'll take it.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Finds his big tight end, Mo Alley Cox. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
It's a room to maneuver. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on first down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they've got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there. Forced the ball free, and it's second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
They'll look to throw here. And oh, that nearly an opening drive INT, but it does fall incomplete. Not the way he wanted to start this ball game as it brings up fourth down. Blankenship's kick is good. And the Colts hit the scoreboard first. It's 3-0. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
After the made field goal, here's Blankenship again. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. 3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
Well, since you took me to the nautical side, I'm going to try and keep up here because to me, this ship is about ready to pull out of port. These next couple of games are absolute must-wins for them. Now, if they can win a couple, get to 5-5, maybe they start believing in themselves. But a loss here, that would move them to 3-6. And if that's the case, well, that boat is going to head out to the harbor with them still on the dock. And partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
On first down, nothing opening up really on the running play. Give him maybe a yard, and it'll be second down. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Watson. And this one caught by Max Williams. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. Well, this defense for the Colts, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Washington.
And one of the key numbers that I look at after every game, total yards allowed. They held them under 200 yards of total offense, just couldn't sustain much of anything against them. Great job showing them different looks and then attacking.
He gets it complete to Harris. And he is going to have a Texans first down as this defense unable to hold. It's a 7-yard gain there on 3rd and 2. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. To throw is Watson. He'll check this one down to Michel. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And that'll make this a 2nd down.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got him the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
On 2nd down, Michel. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd. And for the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Watson. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
A deep ball down that right sideline, and he made sure that he put it where either his guy was going to catch it or no one was.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. 30. 10.
Ready for us.
Touchdown, Indianapolis. A great effort there. His his first touchdown on the year. And the Colts strike quickly here for 6 points. So a pretty wild turn of events there. Instead of a sure 3 points, it's 6 the other direction.
And if you're kicking in the NFL, that should be pretty much automatic, but I don't think that's on him at all. The protection broke down. That led to the block.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip.
Next to score, Colts 10, Texans nothing.
So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Houston's offense taking over again. The last time they had a little bit of a special teams breakdown. That field goal was blocked.
Yeah, and everything has to be precise in the kicking game. Snap, hold, kick. Obviously, the blocking to keep people out. So what you really want to do is get in there and get...
The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. DeForest Buckner in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Now, the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
And this came from the interior of the defensive line, and these guys, they're normally anchors of that spot, and they don't often get clear shots at the quarterback. But in this case, he got past the center and the guard in no time and got there to make the play.
As we check the next-gen stats, you'll see he had precious little time to do anything with the football there. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now Watson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. A.J. Boye with a pick, and he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. Now Blankenship on for the PAT. He's got it, and it's 17-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So an early advantage now and a good one. 17-0 our score as they kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Deshaun Watson making his way back out, the focus of our players' spotlight. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line.
And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Back to throw, Watson. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. DeForest Buckner, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. On the handoff, it's Michel. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
A little check down to Lindsey. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there. 17-0 our score after 1. Ready for the second quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football. Here's Logan Cook now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline.
The Colts take over first and 10 at their own 37.
Second drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yeah,
run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Second down, another run with Taylor. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. Sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. 2nd and 5. He'll get this complete into the hands of Riley Ridley. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 27-yard line. He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And out of bounds right around the 20. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
Now back to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the...
And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. Paris Campbell with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Colts continue to pull away here in this first half. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie. Because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And the route is on here in this first half.
Texans nothing.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. This fielded right at the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
The Texans take over first.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. To Michelle on the dump-off. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there. Here's Logan Cook now as he's on to punt for Houston. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And here's Rodgers on the return. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now Jonathan Taylor and the Colts offense retakes center stage. So far, been so good this season. Well on his way, as you see, to a 1,000-yard campaign. Is he almost having the type of year to where you say, let's let him get his and we'll control everything else?
That's one way to go about it. Personally, I go about it differently. I'm taking on the bullet. I've got to, because he gives his team an identity and confidence. And if we slow him down, now guess what? Everyone starts looking at each other like, who's going to make a play? Because he's made all the plays so far. So I have to go get him first. Build my defenses towards shutting him down.
Good luck. I mean, not many teams have been able to do it. We'll see.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Escaping the pressure right. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Taking it in from the 20, and the Colts have got it on cruise control. And maybe the defense got so caught up in him throwing the football, they forgot he can take off too.
And you often hear about the quarterback being the unaccounted for guy as a runner. Well, even on a passing play, he's unaccounted for as a runner, and he turned it into a nice game.
A very nice run, and it turns into 6 points. Rodrigo Blankenship on for the PAT. And the route is on here in this 1st half. Just a 4-play drive that time. And to cap it off, a touchdown run of 20 yards. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. This taken in at the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a 1st down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. And the running lane's non-existent in this 1st half as they'll stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up. Watson. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And he is going to have a Texans 1st down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3. Watson off play action. And a big loss here as he's taken down. 1:57 to go in this 1st half on EA Sports. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And Cooks has it over the middle. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. On 3rd down, Michelle. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. Here's Logan Cook now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And they have to be pleased with the way that they moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal on their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. He'll get this one to Pittman. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Back to throw now on first down. That is caught. Michael Pittman with it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. On first down, he'll drop to throw. They'll try and set up the screen to Hines. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. He completes it to Ridley. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans 16.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Dancing to his left. This is caught. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Mo Alley-Cox in the final seconds of the first half. And the Colts would extend their lead here just before halftime.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Blankenship out for the point after. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it culminates in an Indianapolis touchdown. So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away. Taken at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we come to halftime here with the visiting Colts taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, all right, Brandon, thank you very much. Hi again, everyone. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the NFL as we are officially into the second half of the season. We'll start up at TIAA Stadium in Jacksonville. And it's the Giants who are out in front in the second quarter. Saquon Barkley, 79 yards rushing there. From there, we head up to MetLife Stadium to check on the Jets. And they currently trail in that game against the visiting Patriots. Kendrick Bourne, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get to the country music capital of the world. See what's happening with the Titans at home in Nashville. And it's the visiting Washington football team who have the lead in that one. A touchdown run there for Antonio Gibson. On now to a look at the next-gen stats for the Colts in that first half. And their offense has been in top form so far, especially their passing game, as it's helped push them out to this big halftime lead. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they did not have quite the same amount of success in the passing game that their counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. Here's Isaiah Rodgers to return. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. So here are the Colts to take over. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. A carry by Taylor to start the drive. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. 43 yards on the ground for him so far. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill. Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Eluding the pressure right. Gets this to Campbell out on the right side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down. Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
And not all spectacular catches are the result of a pass that maybe was not thrown quite right. Sometimes it's thrown in the perfect spot, and you have to just go get it. And he did that right there.
No fear there in the middle of the field. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to make the tackle. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Again, it's Taylor. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. They'll try and run for the first with Taylor. And Taylor, I don't think he got there. No, he did not. Unable to break free, and he's marked short. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Blankenship's kick is good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the 2nd half. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Watson on first down. It's caught on the right side. Williams. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 44-yard line.
Watson going to look to tuck and run. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Just like that. Just like that.
Here's Watson. And he'll get that to Michel, complete. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
The Colts getting another possession here on offense. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added on to their lead, but that was a drive that was so long, it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game, but we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive, and he's going to profess that he was happy to get points, and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, after this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment.
78 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. The give to Taylor. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. We'll check on his status when we get back. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. This is caught. It's Cooks. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. A big play that time through the air. 33 yards. Now the big play pushes him all the way out to the 40 now for 1st down. Watson now to throw. That is incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Here's Logan Cook now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
They run on 1st down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7 forthcoming. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
49,
On 2nd down, it's Taylor. Oh, what a juke into space. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll let the QB keep it here off the option. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point. Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
Flushed out right. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans 14. A big play that time on the catch and run. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. On the handoff, this is Taylor. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Colts could be on their way to 7-1 as they add on to their lead. They seemingly just continue to score at will, and as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win, but one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them, because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Houston set to take over. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. On first down, it's Watson. It's brought in by Harris. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 29-yard line.
From the 29, Watson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Kenny Moore. And the Colts are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard. They just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
141 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. They run the option here on 1st and 10. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you've got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
That'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. They go to the ground again with Taylor. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at the Texans.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And they take a knee. So this one winds up an Indianapolis victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Indianapolis, the victory moves them to 7-1 on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for Houston, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll look to get back on track next